Hey, what's going on, everybody? We are back. Welcome to the TRILLVISION Film Festival 26. This is TRILL Talk. I am the music curating specialist, Q. Nice, and I'm sitting here with my man. I'll let him introduce himself and the film. Good sir, please introduce yourself.
TJ Loftin, the creator of Working with the Hands documentary.
Working with the hands, and let him see that award you got right there. Stylish. I like that. Congratulations again.
Came from working with the hand. I was hands-on.
Yes, indeed. So let's talk about the film.
Okay.
But before we get right into the film, I want to talk about what led up to creating the film in the first place.
I was looking at society, our young people, and the situations that we're dealing with. They're not doing this, or just a lot of people are unhappy with the youth today.
Mhm.
And I'm just thinking, like, if they knew what we were doing, if they were over here with us, they'd be all right. We just got to figure out how to get them over here. So somebody got to say something. So that's why I wanted to make the doc, so I can let them see what we're doing and how cool it is.
Tell us a little bit about the whole car culture, and this isn't anything that is new. This kind of dates back to when we say the 80s, 70s.
Let's go back to the 1800s.
1800s
Yeah.
of styling and customizing cars.
Yeah.
Like they are now, because I mean, it's a serious thing, not just rims and tires. We're talking about very, very expensive paint jobs and very elaborate designs that you had never seen before. It's just so amazing.
Right.
What led you down that road? Like, how did you just say, well, this is something I want to get involved in?
I grew up in Compton, California, and it was a cultural thing for us.
Yes.
The African-American culture, it was just us. In Compton, seemed like it was a lowrider on every other block, and that was like a lot of people's first car, So it's like, to not follow suit, what would that be about? Everybody wanted a lowrider, so I wanted one. That were the cool people who had lowriders, pretty much. Yeah. And it was like the birth of a whole new industry, and I was able to contribute to it because everybody around me, the biggest car builders on the planet, come from Compton. So It just happened to be my coaches, my friends, people like that. So it was, what do you say, destiny? It was meant to be,
Yeah, wow.
That's how that happened for me.
And West Coast Customs was a part of that, would you say?
West Coast Customs actually is Big Dane. That was my buddy. Yeah. I had Express Gold Plating first. It was funny. He was down the street at Barbary Coast as the bouncer, the head bouncer. He ran the club. And I'm down the street with my lowrider shop. And he would come down there, keep an eye on me, because everybody was like, "Oh, we're going to get that brother. We're going to rob him. We're going to,
wow.
So Dan would have to show his presence and be like, this boy down here making some money. I want to get me something going on. So all of a sudden, West Coast Customs came after Express Gold Plating.
Big shout out to West Coast Customs.
Oh, big shout out to Big Dane. That's my guy.
Indeed.
He didn't play. He don't play.
The thing that I noticed, being from Cleveland, car culture existed very heavily out there. I would say mid 80s to late 80s. They weren't necessarily like lowriders or hydraulics, so to speak, but the cars were very bright colors. We're talking like neon green. And there was this thing that, a lot of cars would get paint jobs, or maybe even back then wrapped in candies, different candies that were around at that time. Like I can vividly remember a car that, just had Skittles all across, and it was just, white interior. It was amazing, but the paint job was just crazy. And of course they had, the booming system inside of it. But never like the hydraulics, because, Cleveland roads can be a little bit rough with the potholes and everything. And you have those out here too. But the thing that I noticed out here and living out here was I sometimes would drive on Crenshaw and I would see signs of no cruising, and different things of that nature. And that was, I was assuming that was coming from the low rider culture, especially on a Sunday, when, you would get 10, 12, maybe even 50 cars in the line of all of these beautiful cars, just cruising down the street. And I guess I just found it very interesting and odd that was actually going to turn into a law, something you could get a ticket for.
let's talk about. I'm a businessman.
Yeah,
and
businessman.
I'm all about economic side of things. So
Yeah.
that's that sign on Crenshaw you saw, no cruising.
Yeah.
That low riding, wherever we stop cruising, pull over and park at, it becomes a tourist destination.
Yeah.
So we get hungry, we stop, go to this burger stand, get something to eat. All of a sudden, they're gonna do 6 figures easy, because you got 50 cars pulled up, 2-3 people per car, and now you got all the other people who say, "Oh wow, let's stop and see what those cars. Let's look at the cars." Next thing you know, we're sitting there for 4 hours, and everybody's buying out this restaurant, buying out this convenience store, and that's why they manipulate the system and say, "Oh, y'all can't cruise, y'all can't come over here, disperse, disband," because we usually only stop at our businesses, the local black eatery, recycling our dollars, keeping money in the community,
Which was a good thing.
and that's what they don't like. That's like right now we're dealing with a situation with the district in Crenshaw. When they found out the guy, I don't want to make it about that. I kind of put it in the doc though. They wanted to take that business from them. So as a way to get them out of business, they needed to reduce their money. So they know we go there sun up to sundown 4 days a month, every Sunday. So they all of a sudden, in an effort to take that from him, the landlord, the owner of the building, reaches out to the city and says, "Hey, I need you to get these lowrider guys out of here." They're like, "Well, TJ's over there. We're gonna have a problem with that," So we renegotiated to once a month. And now they're saying, "Okay, hey, you guys, why don't you go to the mall?" So now it's every other month. Wow, this guy's in court suing him to take his business from him.
Wow.
So it's politics. A lot of people just think, "Oh, well, I understand it was too many cars up." No, we make those guys money. People fly in from around the world just to be there on the first Sunday of every month.
Take pictures and video and everything.
Busloads of Australians, lowrider guys who came from Australia to come and look at Crenshaw. People flying in from Japan. People flying in from all over the country. People shoot videos out there, shoot movies, shoot TV shows.
Yeah.
And that's always the backdrop.
Now, in working with cars, this is, of course, extended over to motorcycles. I think they kind of went hand in hand, but I would see more of the cars, but definitely has drifted over into the area of motorcycles. In your film, you have a motorcycle which is very expensive. How much did it go for again?
That motorcycle went for $1.62 million, $1,620,000.
My goodness.
For a motorcycle Ben Hardy created.
Who bought it?
Movie.
Who bought it?
Somebody else.
Okay.
Not us.
I see. Okay.
That motorcycle, it was a brother. That was not the traditional motorcycle. Harley Davidsons were regular, and he decided he didn't want to be regular. He wanted to make it
considered like a chopper?
He made it a chopper, yes.
Okay.
That was the first chopper. So when they saw that motorcycle, the people who, the different gangs, the Hells Angels, all those type of people against the system people, they said, "This is our official motorcycle. Everybody in the club has to have one of these, a chopper." Just like that. Created a billion-dollar industry that a lot of us didn't even capitalize off of.
Wow.
Even Ben Hardy, he put it in a movie. They put that in a movie, and they didn't put his name in the movie.
See, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Having your film in the TRILLVISION Film Festival, seeing your film on the big screen, how does that feel?
Man, that feels amazing. Just like hold this glass trophy here.
And congratulations.
Man, this is amazing. Yeah, like they trying to make a brother cry. Good job. I appreciate this, man. All I did, all it took. I feel like shout out to all those car builders that was in it, all the car builders that passed away, all the car builders that never got one of these. This is ours, not mine. This is ours.
Wow.
This goes out to all the car builders, motorcycle builders, all the builders. The tradesmen. Booker T. Washington, C.R. Patterson, back in the Gilded Age.
Yeah. We were talking about Booker T a little bit earlier. You and I, we had a discussion after the film festival was over with. We were talking about that a little bit. You want to expand on that for us, our viewers?
I've been doing my research. I'm serious research when it comes down to things. I didn't know that until I found out. You let something catch my interest, it's over with. So I found out as I'm working on the documentary, which originally started off about my life story. But I'm like, with all these amazing elders and coaches and teachers that I had all my life, how would I even look? So let me start with them. And then I say, okay, well, let me touch on where the cars come from, who made them.
Yes.
I go dig and I find out all things transportation came from Tuskegee University. Booker T. Washington, all the automotive, airplanes, General Motors, Cadillac, the Wright brothers, Harley Davidson motorcycle, all came out in 1903. Booker T. Washington.
Wow.
C.R. Patterson. So I was like, now I fell into a rabbit hole so deep. It's like, okay, I got to go research all of that now. So, okay, documentary number 2, that's next.
Right, right.
The Gilded Age, rewriting history.
Right. I like that.
Our story, not his story.
Our story.
Yeah, our story. We're going to talk, we already heard his story, so now we're going to listen to our story.
Dick. Now, with this documentary that you have with us, how long is it?
The one we saw today was 10 minutes. It was used as a short.
But the real
original one is 1 hour and 50 minutes.
Yeah.
And we got more than that. It's really 34 hours.
And that's what I was going to ask you about, because you ended up cutting out, what was it, 80 minutes?
A lot. I cut out over 2 hours.
Wow.
Yeah, I cut out over 2 hours.
Wow. Okay.
And you said the reason I did that because the birth of the automobile is a dark industry. We're talking about lynchings. We're talking about patents, burning down the patents office twice. They burnt down the patents office in 1833, then came back and burned it down again in 1877. And why would they do that? Because of who was patenting them, who was patenting things, the automobiles, the motorcycles, all that stuff was coming out in the 1800s, but they kept killing people, burning their houses down, trying to steal it, but could not figure it out. So I was like, okay, she kept saying, no, this is that's a Gilded Age. That's a Gilded Age. Don't put that one in this one. You can't put that for everybody to see. They're gonna think you try to, it's real dark. So I said, okay, we're gonna separate that side.
Yeah.
Tell that separate. But it's like a scary movie. It's like, wow, people like they was evil back then. I'm like, man, when you talking about a $1 billion industry, like, hey, with this plaque, you can go start your own car manufacturing company called Cadillac Motors. You're going to be worth about $2 trillion with this one idea. Yeah. Yeah, that's worth lynching some people. Burn it down the patents, don't do that. Things like that. Yeah, so I had to take some of that stuff out and separate it. Because I wanted it to be fun. I wanted people to say, oh, I want Junior to go. Let's put him in a trade. Let's teach him how to weld. Let's teach him how to shoot a candy paint. Because painters nowadays in my community, they get up to like $120,000. And it's not about, okay, that's the going cost. It's like, you want 120 because you do good. You're one of the greatest painters in the nation, but do you have time to do it?
Exactly.
You may say, I can't start until next year.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, so I may say I could do it for 140, but I'll start tomorrow. So paint doesn't necessarily have a price. Right. It's all about how good are you are, and do you have time to do it?
Yeah, and being good in that area when it comes to paint is really going to, that's whatever you put on the car is whatever you put on the car because of how you mix the paint and how it's got to go. Is that correct on how you put it for the car?
It's a number of factors. It has to be, the body has to be prepared.
Yes, of course.
We dealing with right now, we're dealing with rust. Yeah. So it's like we're doing, if this was medical, we're doing brain replacements, brain surgery, like, okay, let's switch brains. It's like we're elevated so high to restore these cars because they're so rusty, and the level of work that's going on them. It's like, I'm the kind of guy I can walk up and say, he wants $190,000 for this car. And my buddy's like, I'm about to buy it. He wants $250, but he's going to give it to me for $190. And I just look at it, I be like, that quarter panel's not straight. Don't buy that, right? Yeah. Because I could just see it, that it's not on the right way.
You just know.
I can feel it. I just know, and it's like, that's an art.
It is.
First you got to know how to weld, and then you got to know how to disassemble something, and then you got to know how to put it back the right way. And if you don't, people like me are going to kill the value of your car.
It's being able to pay attention to detail.
Yeah. It's a whole nother end.
Being able to do that, and now, teaching young people, the youth, on how to get involved with cars and welding and stuff like that. How did that all come about?
I was coached my entire life. I was a young guy. Wow. And they saw that I was nosy as heck. I pay attention. I was very alert. And I wasn't just coming around to hang around. I was actually recognizing things, and I was asking all the right questions. So they decided.
So you was being detailed then?
Yeah. Let me pull him. He's different. He's on some nerd stuff in the right direction. So we're going to pull him in and see how he does. See if he keeps coming back. And see what, because he asked some good questions. So I've had a lot of guys who coached me all my life. And these guys became the biggest car builders on the planet. Shout out to Gary May. Shout out to Ted Wells. Shout out to, Robert Clausen, Zeus, Terry Carter, all these guys that just held my hand along the way and told me what I was going to do.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Drop TJ off over there. Or you going to go do this. I need you to go do that. I'm like, okay.
I have
did
a
not
cousin.
realize I was being prepared for something.
I have a cousin who's in Cleveland, and he's into cars, Corvettes mainly.
Okay. Big money.
But back when he had a car, he had the whole the horns, the musical horns that everybody used to get on their cars and whatnot. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, certain kind of horns.
Yeah, certain kind of horns that they used to have, and the white wall tires and stuff like that. He didn't necessarily always have the money to like really spruce and fix up his car, but he had the white walls, he had some rims, and he had a nice paint job on it and a decent system. But the other thing that was very interesting when it came to cars is that he shifted into model cars, the very small ones that you have to put together and paint them and everything else. But the detail that you see in those model cars,
that's where it's
all the way down to the stereo system inside of these model cars, the tire treads, the rims underneath the body of the car, everything like that was just so detailed. And it seems like those details have always been into play when dealing with big cars, of course, because that's why I'm thinking where it came from for the small model cars.
A lot of people don't realize that, like, we got a young man sitting here in the room with us.
I
would love to have him under my wing, and it's like I'm looking at these model cars that this young brother's building, and I can see, oh, look at him at this young age. Look at the detail in this little model car. And mom not realizing, hey, I know you think this is not serious, but this is actually a great start. So I can bring him over here, and he'll thrive because he's doing it over there.
I thought it was
on
amazing.
a smaller scale. And then people don't realize, when kids would draw, we would draw, this is going to be my car. We would draw a car and it would have the big wheels on it.
Yes.
Do you know people would actually walk into the stores, to my store, places like that, and say, can you make me these wheels?
Wow.
And that's how that stuff started. We started designing our own wheels. As a matter of fact, you hear Dane in the movie talking about how they missed out on a wheel deal.
Yeah, spree wheels.
On the spree wheels.
Can you expand on that a little bit?
In this industry, we're a bunch of people don't realize, they think that we're mechanics, but we're custom car builders, we're manufacturers. So people come into our businesses regularly and present ideas, present us with investments. And that's why people always ask, why don't you deal with the stock market? You should be in the stock. You was crazy for not. But look what Dane said. Spreewell walked into his office, the guys who own Spreewell, the wheel company, walked into his office.
Got laughed right out of there.
They could have been West Coast Wheel Company. You know what I'm saying? If he would have took it serious.
Before we open this up to our lovely folks that are here with questions, one other question I wanted to ask you was, in putting together this documentary, what kind of trials, tribulations, or I should say bumps in the road that you may have had?
I had to learn film the hard way. I'm coming in, I'm a mechanic. People looking at me like I'm a mechanic, our people see no value in the trades. So I say, hey, I'm working on a documentary. I try to hire some people, a couple of different people. This happened twice. Can you, I want to work on a car documentary, blah, blah, blah. How much would you charge to film it? Okay, I'm gonna fly out to the Rick Ross show, for example, and make a documentary, And all of a sudden, the next thing you know, when they realize Rick Ross' right-hand man is in it, and he's coming over, they're like, wait a minute, I didn't charge you enough. Matter of fact, I need ownership in this, I'm like, give me my documentary back. You're like, no, I don't want to get left out of this. I thought this was just a regular job. I didn't know you needed people, but you were just a mechanic, Like, oh, you didn't hear the word celebrity mechanic, did you? You
didn't hear that part.
Yeah, and that's happened twice. They thought it was a basic, regular job. As soon as they saw the people that I was interviewing, like Big Dane, for example, walked in his thing. That's the TV guy.
Man, wait a minute. Right. Hold on a second.
Lamborghinis and Rolls Royces. Is that Paris Hilton? Like, wait a minute. And I'm like, okay, let me sign that. Did you sign that contract? That is it. Yeah. And it just became real hard, like give me my footage.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Sign this. What do you mean you don't want to sign it? You know? So it was like I had to learn how to do everything myself.
Yeah.
And I was terrified. It was like having a little baby and I'm gonna drop it off at the kindergarten or something. It's like, okay, I don't know if I could trust you with this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
You're
saying?
like,
This is
no.
my baby.
Gotta take care of this.
Yeah, it was just a nightmare. So I had to learn how to do everything myself.
Mhm.
I learned how to edit. I learned how to film. I learned how to do the light. I had to learn how to do everything.
Everything.
Because once people realized who I was, it was like, oh no, he can't do this by himself. We need to be a part of this.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, nah,
Yes.
let's do it myself.
It's like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah.
Before we go on with our conversation, I know our time is limited, and I want to thank you for being here and taking the time out. I want to see if anybody here with us has any questions that they would like to ask. Any questions at all? Questions, people? Questions? Any
Any young
questions?
people? Or-
Expensive lowrider.
Mm.
You had a chance to ride in or drive.
Mm.
Not just like something you see or heard about, whatever, but what's the most expensive one that you like had an encounter with?
59 Chevy Bel Air convertible.
Dang.
They offered 400,000. I was like, no. Then my buddy's like, no. Then all of a sudden they said, okay, I'll give you 500,000. I was like, no. So that offer was 500,000. So that's what the bid starts at. So that was about the most expensive, but
What color?
red.
Ew, okay.
There was a red one, then there was a beige one, then there was a gold one. But that's the car to have. It's like the Rolls Royce right now.
It's colors off the hook.
So people don't realize that you may think you're the big dog in your Rolls Royce,
Yeah.
but you don't realize your value is decreasing while that 59 Chevy value is increasing.
Yeah.
So we take that same 59 and put it in a movie, put a famous rapper on the hood of it, it'll go up to $1 million or $2 million easily.
Easily, just like that.
So it's kind of hard to say what's the most expensive car.
Mm.
You know, like cars we sold in movies, just the prices keep going up on, like that car in the movies. Boys, what do you call it? Friday. My buddy in the movie, that was his car. Big Worm,
Yeah.
Big Worm.
I don't think you're applying yourself, Smokey.
Yes, yeah.
Start to end, what did you learn about you as a person?
What'd you learn about yourself?
I'm what's that word? I don't know when to stop. Perfectionist, they say. I'm like, we need to add a little more. I need to add a little more. Okay. Well, you said that 30 minutes ago. You know, you said that at 1 hour and 30 minutes. Now you at 2 hours. You know what I'm saying?
Now you
And now I'm checking back. Now he's headed for 3 and 4 hours. So I'm like a perfectionist. I want to include everybody. I want to include everything. And I'm an educator. I want people to understand what we're doing and what you can be a part of. And this is a pathway for you. You know, let's bring the young man and teach him how to paint or how to weld or how to do restorations or something. Yeah, you.
Yeah, he's like, who, me?
What's next for you with the documentary?
Oh, good question.
I got multiple. I'm going to spin it off. I would like to spin it off to different TV shows. You know, it's a lot of different shows inside of that. I got a documentary working on about Dr. Sabi. That was one of my coaches.
Shout out to Dr. Sabi.
Shout out to rest in peace. Shout out to ancestor Dr. Sabi.
Yeah.
The rest of the car builders. I got one I'm working on with Booker T. Washington and Gilded Age, C.R. Patterson.
Wow.
I mean, I got so many. I'm very content wealthy.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm working on a studio. You know, I got so much footage that I wanted to start my own studio.
Wow.
Where I can shoot my own films and have editors and on in-house, everything.
That's dope.
Your full, you said you had a full-size documentary. What is your plan for that?
That should be for sale on the website by hopefully Tuesday at the latest. Working with the hands documentary.com. Working with the hands documentary.com. You can buy a copy of the full documentary, 1 hour and 50 minutes.
When people see this documentary, like the wonderful people that we had here earlier today in the theater, what do you want them to come away with?
I want them to look at this differently. We got parents that are sitting there saying, should I spend $300,000 on dropping little Junior or Jessica or daughter into college where they'll have to find a job after that, hopefully, or should I take that $50,000 and start them a business? You know, and what type of business? Like we have scholars that say we have scholars literally saying we don't have any industries. We as a people need our own industry. And I'm like, What do you mean we don't have any? I can name about 50 right now, you know? So we need to communicate, and let's get into talking to me, have me come out and speak, have me come out and do a consultation, and I can just name off the industries that you can put your child in and invest in, and he'll be a millionaire and
Before you know it.
before you know it, blink
Yeah.
of an eye, guaranteed.
Wow.
You know, it's that simple. I'm not trying to brag, I'm just being honest.
For sure.
It's a hidden industry when you don't have enough people to do anything. That's why paint jobs cost over $120,000, you know, for certain cars. You
Yes.
pulling in with a 59, 120,000, easy. You got
Easy.
rust. You coming in there with a 64, 75,000, you know. So if we could flood that industry out with like 10, 20,000 painters, we can bring the prices hopefully down to $10,000 to paint a car.
And real quick, when it comes to painting, how long does that process take?
When I left the industry in 09, I would have a whole car restored in 3 to 4 months. Now they
3 to 4
take it
months.
3 to 4 years easy. And they call it paint prison.
Paint prison.
Paint
Wow.
prison. You might not get it back.
This is
Drop the car off today, you might not get
Might
it
not
back.
get it back.
And
Wow.
it's like that. They're all in the news. It's terrible. That's why you'll have me speaking at schools
Yeah.
like, hey, let's flood this industry out,
Mhm.
you know?
Yeah.
So it's desperately needed. We need help.
Before I let you go, website or social media, anything like that for the film, or personally for yourself, so we can keep up with
Okay.
what you're doing.
The film is Working with the Hands documentary. Easy. Gotta remember documentary. Working with the Hands documentary. That's an Instagram page as well. The website is the same, workingwiththehandsdocumentary.com. And my personal information of websites, I mean, everything social media is Thomas TJ Loftin, Loftin, ThomasTJLoftin.com or gentrification.com or TJLoftin.com. You know, all roads land here, you know.
All right here. That's great.
Yeah.
Really quick, for those individuals who are thinking about making a documentary, and they don't really have any money at all, really, maybe. But they're really interested in put a documentary together. And if they're listening or they're watching right now, what would you say to them?
You don't need no money.
Mm.
Everybody got an iPhone.
Mm.
You know, I see kids 7, 12 years old with iPhones.
Yes.
I didn't even have an iPhone at the time. You know, I use my iPhone, I use my iPad, I use my camera. I use everything to make this documentary. I didn't know what the heck I was doing. And I had to seek out to Trill help, get some Trill help over here, you know.
Trill though.
Because I wasn't keeping it Trill at the time. I needed some Trill help to, you know, straighten out my levels and things like that.
Indeed.
Because I was using everything. I'm like, it wasn't about the money. It was about, I shot it like I did not have no money because I did everything myself with what I had, just with what I had. It's like Booker T said, cast your bucket where you are.
Yeah.
And where I was just an iPhone, a regular camera, not a $10,000, $100,000 camera, but a $500 Sam's Club, whatever the camera, you know, Best Buy. So,
Indeed. Wow.
yeah,
Well-
do it yourself for what you got.
Indeed. Appreciate that, man. TJ, it's been an honor and a pleasure, man. Thank you so much for being here. Congratulations again on your award, man. We appreciate that
Thank
so
you. I
much.
appreciate it.
For TRILLVISION Film Festival 26, my name is Q Nice, and as always, it's been an honor and a pleasure being here. We thank you guys so much for being here and checking us out. This has been TRILL Talk, and as always, I'll see you around the world.